Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Monday, November 25th, 2024. That's right. This is, if you haven't noticed already, a new format. We're segueing all of our daily video letters into this new look. We cover, what I like about it, and maybe I can just walk you through it just right now. We've got the big picture, long term, 2 to 3 months out. We also then we break it down, I guess, into three different rough time horizons. Now, the market obviously doesn't operate exactly within these time horizons. They are a bit arbitrary, but you can break them into a further understanding. A lot of times, that I talk 1 to 2 weeks rather than 2 to 3 weeks. I also say 3 to 5 weeks rather than 2 to 3 weeks. It sort of cuts it right down the middle. And with the long term, of course, I also go 3 to 5 months out or 1 to 2 months. But these are just sort of rough measures to give you the big picture long term, the intermediate, midterm, 2 to 3 weeks, 3 to 5 weeks. And then, of course, we've got the near term, which includes today and 3 to 5 days out. Some people call this short term. And so it is, there's just different labeling of really the same time horizon. So, I'm going to break it down pretty much every day. We'll start obviously with the title page, then we'll go to the long-term freeze frame. I think ideally then we'll create chapters. So for those of you who like the big picture, the long-term outlook, you can cut right to it. And the same will be true, if you're really just for the day itself and you want to see what the next day to 3 to 5 days out, you'll be able to see it at the bottom of the YouTube video. All right. And so, in the next day or two, Tesla will move into this. We're still dialing it in. There's still tweaks to be made on the underlying document itself. But let's just cut to the chase. The long-term outlook for NVIDIA. And you'll see the long term has its own set of support and resistance levels. And it really just sort of breaks down to 116.63 to 119.97, which is shown in this. And here's another glitch. I've got to move the chart around a little bit. But you can see 116.63 to 119.97. This is a weekly bar chart. This is our base of support that, if tested over the next month or two, can absorb selling into the first quarter. We can round up from here, and from here round up to some variation of channel resistance. Now, this is the same exact chart. So here you can see on the upper right, the support resistance, we've got 116.66 to 172.94. This is a range of resistance that, if tested in the coming weeks, can absorb buying through the first quarter. This is all the same information I've been providing for the last month or two, but the numbers are a little different. In terms of the downside, and I'll show this in the near term and the day trade, is 137.15. That's a meaningful level as we continue into next week. It is the low of the high. Last week's high was the all-time high. So this is a meaningful low. In other words, if we were to close this week Friday below 137.15, I would anticipate the 116.63 to 119.97 region. So that is the two-sided structure long term. You're buying the mid to upper 110s and climbing if given the opportunity, and you're selling the mid 160s to low 170s and climbing if given the opportunity. Once again, these two structures actually converge in later December. It is a two-sided play right now as far as NVIDIA is concerned. So the 2 to 3 month time frame, once again, selling the mid to lower mid 160s to low 170s and buying the mid to upper 110s, both of which are changing on a gradual basis. Midterm outlook, 2 to 3 weeks and out. So we have the same set of numbers, but we've added some. We still have 116.63 to 119.97. Ups as shown in this chart here. We also have the 166, this level here. Let me just talk about that. So that still exists in the 2 to 3 week outlook as an extreme, but you can see once again we've got the upper 130s as a meaningful downward pivot point, and that is really nothing more than this 138.88 channel bottom. 138.88 can contain weekly selling pressures, quite possibly through December, and in fact you can add 137.17 to 138.88. 137.17 is once again last week's low. So if we were to close today, for instance, below 138.88, I would also want to see a settlement below 137.77 for you to dump your longs, talking to 2 to 3 week swing traders, and play the short side 2 to 3 week swing traders. Could be 3 to 5 weeks before anticipating or reaching this 117.68 to 120.08 area, and that is on the weekly chart once again 116.63 to 119.97 as shown here. But on the daily chart, they come in a little different. So bottom picking 138.88. Day traders, 3 to 5 day swing traders, and in fact, 3 to 5 week swing traders, because holding above 138.18, 138.88 rather, will keep this 166.66 area in reach over the next, 2 to 3 to 5 weeks. You've got 160, the low 160s, mid 160s are up here, and you can see how that is a real clear possibility that over the coming, 2 to 3 weeks, we can push into the lower 160s. And inversely, once again, closing below 138.88, we expect a 2 to 3 to 5 week sell-off into the 117.68 to 120.08 region. So that is the 2 to 3 week outlet. So for those of you who trade the 2 to 3 week time frame, this is what we're looking at. Buying 138.88 in anticipation perhaps of the low 160s, mid 160s, and climbing, or selling a settlement below 138.88 in anticipation of the upper 110s to low 120s. And once again, with respect to 138.88, let's add 137. It's actually 137.15. My apologies. So maybe you can make that adjustment. Another glitch with the format, but we're going to dial this in as we continue in the days and weeks ahead. Finally, the near-term outlook. Why most of you are dialing it in, tuning in rather, and let me just jump to the first chart, which is 148.88. So you're buying 138.88. This is an old level. 148.88 is still the high settlement price on the daily chart, all-time high daily chart settlement price from a couple of weeks ago. We certainly pushed through that last Thursday, but we've got to close above it. And I think this is our pivot point, for the day. If we happen to push through 148.88, and it is possible, 154.39 in reach. I want to keep 154.39 still as a session containment level only. I really don't want to commit to it as a 3-star resistance, although we could potentially top out here on a 3 to 5 day basis and fall away. But I do think holding above 138.88, we maintain bullish momentum as we move into December, and pushing through and closing above 154.33 is consistent with that upward momentum. 160.78, then likely within 1 to 3 days of closing above 154.39. If you've been long, when we tested this channel bottom about a week ago, if you've been long since then, you're holding out for 160.78, 2 to 3 week swing traders. Even closing today above 148.88 is a show of strength, expecting at least 154.39. At 154.39, you could scale out of some of your long position, especially if you're anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks to 3 to 5 days. If that is kind of your zone that you kind of operate in, you may consider unloading some at 154.39. But closing above 154.39, 160.78, a 1 to 2 to 3 day target where we could actually top out through December and fall away into the first quarter. Downside, once again, well, this is kind of the big picture upside. This shows how this is really more of our 2 to 3 week time frame. But I do want to mention that if we close today below 138.88, and let's just call it 137.15 on that weekly chart, I'm sorry about the 2 ticks off on that support level, then I would think within the week, 129.13 in reach. This would be a 3 to 5 day target, 3 to 5 day swing traders. If we close below the 137.15 level, that would indicate 129.13 within 3 to 5 days. But I do think within 2 to 3 weeks of closing below this upper 130s, you can once again anticipate 117.68 to 120.08, where we could actually bottom out through January trade and well into the first quarter. I think it's about as simple as that. I'm going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. We offer 2 stock picks a week. Last week, Mara Holdings, Upstart Holdings, both of which are on the precipice of significant buy signals, offering appreciable gains as we continue into the first quarter. I'm going to leave it at that. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, with Tuesday's NVIDIA report. You have a great day.